Hi, welcome to this video where I'll talk about relative pitch and how to develop it, and most importantly, the things you should avoid doing. A good relative pitch allows us to understand the melody and the harmony of a song only by listening to it. But not only this, it's also that skill that allows us to freely express our musical ideas in natural, immediate, and spontaneous ways. What if I play that? What is melody and what is harmony? Melody is a succession of notes arranged one after the other in temporal order. In this song, this is the melody. Harmony includes the key and the chord progression. On a practical level, the chord progression is the set of sounds that surround the melody, and is also known as accompaniment. In the song that you heard a little while ago, this is the accompaniment. Why do some people struggle so much to develop relative pitch? Why for some people is it so difficult and for others it's really simple and instinctive? It's simple. It seems so difficult because there is this common tendency to consider relative pitch as if it's composed of two skills: the harmonic ear, the ability to distinguish harmonies, and the melodic ear, the ability to distinguish melodies. For this reason, we perform specific exercises to develop the melodic ear and other specific exercises to develop the harmonic ear. This is an exercise that is mistakenly considered to be one of the best exercises to develop the melodic ear, the intervals exercise. There are several variants of the exercise, but I'll take one just for the sake of demonstration. At first, we choose what interval to learn. For example, we choose the major third interval. Next, we play a casual note, and then we should sing the note that is a major third above. La. After that, we'll play the first note again. This time we should sing the note that is a major third below. La. Finally, we'll choose another starting note and repeat the exercise till we have memorized the sounds of all the intervals, or until we realize that it is an almost useless exercise. This is instead an exercise that many people perform in order to develop the harmonic ear, the exercise of chord recognition. Also in this case there are several variants. One of the most common is this. We use a software that plays a random chord. Then we should recognize what chord is it: major, minor, major seventh, minor seventh, etc. Excuse me, can you play the chord again, please? Okay, this is major seventh. After that, the software will play another chord. For me is minor seventh. And so on, till you become mad. After years of exercises like these, someone started to understand that they don't work very well. Indeed, they don't work at all. What? They don't work? How is it possible? Right, difficult to believe, but it's really like that. They don't work because we are not able to learn these intervals. We are not able to learn these chords, unless we are already able to do other things. But this is a more complex topic that I'll explain in another video. Now, also if we assume that these exercises work, there is still a much more efficient and faster way to develop relative pitch. We must start considering that separating the melodic ear from the harmonic ear and considering them two different skills is wrong. This is because, for our mind, every melody contains an implicit harmony. Therefore, if we listen to an isolated melody without any accompaniment or chord progression, our mind includes that melody in an implicit harmony. It's like if starting from the notes of the melody, our mind creates a harmony in which to include the melody's notes. What? Okay, it seems difficult, but let me explain. Have you ever asked yourself why, when we transpose a song from a key to another key, it still sounds like the same song? Okay, maybe you already know the answer, because the distance between the notes remains the same. But I can also say, because the harmonic function of the notes remains the same. The harmonic function? What is it? The harmonic function is the role that a particular note assumes in the context of a key. Wait a moment, don't be scared. Actually, it's simple. For example, in the key of C major, C is the first degree, best known as the tonic of the key. D is the second degree, E is the third degree, F is the fourth degree, and so on. For example, in the Happy Birthday to You melody, the notes assume these harmonic functions. In the key of C, the notes would be these. Good. Why I'm explaining this to you? It's because if you want to develop relative pitch in a faster and more efficient way, it's useful to learn to distinguish the sounds of the 7 harmonic functions that are contained in the key. For example, you must learn what is the sound of the first degree, the sound of the second degree, that of the third, and so on, till the 7th degree. In total, they are 7 different sounds. 7 sounds? What do you mean with 7 sounds? Okay, the term sound is a little bit generic. It's more adequate to call it color. Every degree of the key has its own color. In total, they are 7 colors. What? Colors? Red, blue, green? No. What I mean with the word color in this context refers to a sensation, or more scientifically to a level of tension. Every one of the 7 degrees of the key has its own level of tension, its own color, its own… you name it. But I think you understand. For example, the first degree gives a sensation of resolution, stability, rest. Okay, you just heard the first degree. The color of the 5th degree is more unstable, it has more tension, it's like if it wants to go somewhere else. This is the 5th degree, and maybe it came naturally to you to solve it to the 1st degree. The 4th degree has a more stable color than the 5th, but it's kinda suspended, it's not really stable. Okay, I think you understand the concept, so I'll let you explore the remaining colors. These 7 colors can be internalized, so we can recognize them in every song that we hear, or in every song we think of, or in every melody we think of. Now, after all these explanations, you'll be more ready to understand the topic about implicit harmony that I told you before. Every note that we think of always assumes a color in our mind, regardless of our will. The color represents all the information about the harmony in which that note is included. You can think of the color as a kind of halo that surrounds the note. Let's suppose that you want to sing a melody. If you're skilled, your brain will paint the notes with the same color that they assumed in the original melody, in an automatic way, because subconsciously it will recognize the different colors contained in the melody, so it will come naturally to you to sing it with the right intonation. La 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 la. If you're not skilled, the melody's colors will be different in your mind. So you'll sing it like that. La 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 la. Or like that. Or, okay, we understand each other. These 7 colors that I just told you about are called keys colors, because they are the colors of the 7 notes of the key. Learning the keys colors, or it will be better to say memorizing the keys colors, is the first step for the development of relative pitch. Without this step, we can't build more complex skills. More complex skills? Really we can? That's interesting. Yes, we can develop much more complex skills. we can learn and internalize also the triadic colors. This way, we can build a much more efficient and reactive relative pitch. Do you want to know more about that? Stop, please. That's enough. Okay, I'll explain that in another video, but let me explain the last thing, please. Okay, but it must be the last one, right? I want you to understand how our ear interprets the inner voice exercise and the chord recognition exercise. It's okay for you? It must be interesting. Okay, the inner voice exercise. Let's take the major third. I play a note to taste. And I try to sing the note that is a major third above. La. Now, my mind is interpreting the first note as the first degree of the major scale, and the second note as the third degree of the major scale, and probably your mind too. But if you don't know the keys colors, you can't realize it. Okay, stop bragging and go on, please. Why this interpretation? Because every time that we listen to a single note without accompaniment, we tend to give it the color of the first degree. Since the second note I played is a major third above, it will naturally come to my mind the sound and feeling of the major scale, that represent the major key. I go on with the exercise. I play the starting note again. And I sing the note that's a major third below. La. In this case, my mind will continue to consider the first note as the first degree of the major key. Therefore, considering this note as the first degree, the note that is a major third below is the flat sixth degree. But the flat sixth degree is not included in the major key. Therefore, my mind is forced to think of a note which is out of key, so it's much more difficult, don't you think? We must learn to distinguish the keys notes first, which is a really useful skill in real musical situation. After that, we can learn to distinguish also the notes that are out of key, that are more difficult to identify. Okay, let's go on. I play another random note, and I sing the note that's a major third above. La. The new starting note sounds like the second degree because we identified the very first note I played at the beginning of the exercise as the first degree. The note that's a major third above the second degree is the sharp fourth degree. Here it is. Also, the sharp fourth degree doesn't belong to a major key. So my mind is forced another time to get out of key. Anyway, I repeat this interval in the descending order. La. The first note is still the second degree. The second note is the flat seventh degree. Oh yes, you get it. There isn't any major key that contains also a flat seventh degree, so our mind is forced to get out of key again, thinking of a note that belongs to another key compared to the key which we started with. It's obvious that we can't learn keys colors this way. If we keep on changing key, it's impossible to internalize them. Oh, you're right. That's true. Let's quickly see what happens also with the chord recognition exercise. Let's take our software that plays a chord. A major seventh chord that almost surely will be considered the first degree of a major key by our mind. Now our software will play another chord. Minor seventh, but a whole tone below the first chord we just heard. So this is a minor seventh chord, and it is a whole tone below the first degree of the major key. The problem is that there isn't any major key that contains this chord. So, also in this exercise, we're forced to get out of key thinking of a chord out of key. Anyway, let's go on and our software will play another random chord. A dominant seventh chord, but it's a step and a half below the first degree that we heard at the beginning of the exercise. Yes, you get it. There isn't any key that contains a dominant seventh chord placed a step and a half below the first degree. I think you get the point. I've already been too repetitive. If you're interested in developing relative pitch, I suggest you to check out the Use Your Ear method. This method has a totally new approach on ear training. The learning process is easier, faster, and more effective compared to other methods. This is because the use your ear method is the only one which takes into consideration all the important characteristics of our musical thought, as the concept of implicit harmony I just told you about, and many others. Furthermore, all the exercises and concepts are presented in a real progressive order. It means that you'll start from simple but effective exercises, and by focusing on really specific details and following my indications, your mind will naturally develop these skills, and gradually you'll be able to accomplish much more complex tasks. This is an important feature that makes the learning process really smooth and painless. If you want to know more about the Use Your Ear method, check out the link in the description section of this video. If you like this video, please push the like button, subscribe, share this, and leave a comment. Thank you very much. Bye.